I'm sure everybody heard last night that the Irish basically played a game of look around and find out, and they lit up their city. And why, do you ask? Because Ireland are sick and tired of the governing class, who has let thousands of these migrants and illegal citizens into their countries and into their neighborhoods and into their streets, where they've caused violence against their people. And you know what? The governing class and the police didn't do shit about it. So the Irish did. The Irish have stood up against the governing class, which is exactly what all of us need to start doing, because more of this shit is going to continue to happen. How much more of our nation is everyone willing to sit back and watch as it gets totally eroded from the inside out? It starts with the indoctrinating of our kids in all of their classrooms and in their schools. It starts with the TV and the programs and the social media talking heads. You see, when the left go out and riot and deface public monuments and stop Thanksgiving parades from happening with their bullshit, that's called peaceful protesting, you see. But when the right does it, when the people stand up against the governing class, like in Ireland, what do they call it? All the media jump on board, and what do they say? Right-wing rhetoric.
Yes, I don't know if you have seen this. Ireland anti-hate law pushed in wake of Dublin riot could criminalize meme, poses free speech concern. According to this article, Ireland government is newly pushing an anti-hate speech law in the wake of riot that came in response to the stabbing of a woman and three children outside a primary school in Dublin. A meme can take you to jail. I have seen this, so on this clip, we are going to take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that, and if possible, why not share this video?
All legislation is about the restriction of freedom. That's exactly what we're doing here, is we are restricting freedom, but we're doing it for the common good. You will see throughout our constitution, yes, you have rights, but they are restricted for the common good.
I'm speechless. This woman is a senator. She is going viral for the wrong reason. We are restricting freedom for the common good. For the common good. Say for your good, not for the people. She understands that people need to have freedom of speech. Restricting it is an indirect way to tell me I should not be able to speak up when something is happening. Then you tell me you are doing good to me.
And you know what? The governing class and the police didn't do shit about it. So the Irish did. The Irish have stood up against the governing class, which is exactly what all of us need to start doing, because more of this shit is going to continue to happen. How much more of our nation is everyone willing to sit back and watch as it gets totally eroded from the inside out? It starts with the indoctrinating of our kids in all of their classrooms and in their schools. It starts with the TV and the programs and the social media talking heads. You see, when the left go out and riot and deface public monuments and stop Thanksgiving parades from happening with their bullshit, that's called peaceful protesting, you see. But when the right does it, when the people stand up against the governing class, like in Ireland, what do they call it? All the media jump on board, and what do they say? Right-wing rhetoric. No, this is called the people standing up and saying enough is enough. And you know what? More needs to happen. All of you people that are like, Palestine to the sea, all that bullshit, I don't think it's so easy to stand in the safety and comfort of America, where you know you are accepted and perfectly safe, by causing nothing but chaos and bullshit. And people are getting sick and tired of it. How many more videos you can see of criers where people have had enough and they grab them and they toss them to the side of the road and drive through? More people need to start standing up. How much more are we willing to watch our country be eroded from the inside out by the governing class, who has let tens of millions of people walk into this country with no background checks, no money, no housing, and you and I, the taxpayers, are going to have to pay for it? How much more are we willing to stand up? Because Dublin and the Irish basically said, fuck around and find out, and they lit up Dublin last night against the governing class. I keep saying this, we outnumber them. So how much more are we willing to sit back and watch as our country gets torn apart by the sickos? Our women and our women's sports being pushed aside so men can be in them, in our safe places and in our bathrooms. And if you dare speak out, and if you dare say, no, I'm not okay with this as a woman, well, you're just a bit, right? No. This shit has to stop. And the only way it stops is if more and more of us stand up and stand together and say we're done with the bullshit. Riley Gaines just won a lawsuit of like $1.2 million because she stood up amongst the sea of hate and said, no, you're not doing this. And more of us need to start standing together. My family's locked, loaded, and ready. How much more? What's your breaking point? How much more of our country are you willing to watch slide into recession while the rich politicians get rich off of our backs while causing and funneling war money of our money into other countries' wars while Americans suffer? How much more? You can't even have a Thanksgiving Day per crazies. It's real easy to stand in the comfort and safety of America. If you really stood with them, you'd be standing over in board signs, but you know you're not going to do that. Why? Because you wouldn't be standing long.
I always like to look at situations both ways. At first, people used to migrate, moving to different countries. But what I see on daily basis is very disturbing. The chaos happening with this issue of migrant, it is getting out of hand. There are people that don't have access to stay in their own countries because they committed a crime. It is easy now to take a boat and reach another country. These people will never change. They will continue to commit crimes in these places. Reason accepting all types of person to migrate into certain places is concerning. We should accept that this is a problem. By accepting is to look for the solutions of what is happening. It is crazy to run away from it, watching a clip from this Irish MP saying they should not integrate this problem into these migrant issues. That should not be the case. I don't get it. Why can't we accept that is what is going on? Something happened, we identify, the media rose immediately and supporting a right-wing. I saw that everywhere on social media and it was concerning. There is one thing I've noticed with the mainstream media. When they pick up a talking point, pay attention to it, investigate it, you will see the outcome. It might just be the opposite of what they are saying. That is what I realize. So when you see people that are standing up because their government is doing a lot of things, okay, take a look at this law that they want to eat now. That can incriminate you for posting a meme. Tell me, what type of government is this? It is insane. A government should not do this. Putting out the draconian laws, to penalize innocent people is crazy. Memes used to be things like you see, you laugh. That is all. Not going right into it to criminalize someone for posting a meme. If this law is enacted, it will be a serious problem. Then tell me why the people will not stand up to fight against certain things like this. It is high time people see both ways and try to...
I really would ask people to try and avoid connecting crime with migration. It's not right. Yes, of course, people who are migrants might commit crimes, just as people who aren't commit crimes. In a country of 5.3 million people, if you have hundreds of thousands of migrants, there are going to be a few of them who commit terrible crimes, just as there are people born and bred in Ireland who commit terrible crimes every day, including murders. And when I see what happened in Parnell Square, what I see is a suspect who is a migrant, although a citizen and somebody here for over 20 years. I see a 5-year-old child in hospital.
According to this article, Ireland government is newly pushing an anti-hate speech law in the wake of riot that came in response to the stabbing of a woman and 3 children outside a primary school in Dublin. Language being proposed as law in Ireland means this could literally happen to you for having a meme on your phone, Elon Musk wrote on Twitter, responding to another user who posted a gif of police riot. Critics are widely slamming the legislations of a freedom of speech concern. Ireland was trending on most X Monday as text circulated of the bill targeting any offense of preparing or posting material likely to incite violence or hate against persons.
I told you about the gay nutcracker.
Understand that not every human being is